This is Brian Carlton for ABN Newswire. I'm back at the October Symposium Resources Roadshow from the brand new venue, the Forum on level 23 of Westpac headquarters in Sydney, where ASX listed companies take advantage of the opportunity to present directly to existing shareholders and also potential new investors in a nice relaxed environment. There might even be a drink or two. Presenting today was Metminco, MNC is the ASX code there, a Sydney-based ASX and AIM-listed mining exploration company. With so much on the boil, it's kind of hard to know where to start. First, the basics. Metminco has just significantly upped its stake and now owns a 100% interest in Hampton Mining Limited, which has potentially world-class exploration projects located in Chile and Peru, mainly focusing on copper, but with significant exposure to gold, molybdenum and zinc. I last spoke to Metminco Director Bill Etheridge back at the July Symposium event, if I'm not mistaken. He joins me again now. Welcome again to ABN Newswire, Bill.
Brian.
Now, last we spoke, you had bought a majority stake in Hampton Mining, and you mooted you'd be acquiring a further stake, but you've now fleshed out that deal to buy the remainder of the company.
That's correct. We've announced agreements which will take us to 100%. It hasn't happened. That's subject to shareholder approval.
Okay.
But we will be going to 100% within the next month or so.
Now, it's a three-way deal, isn't it? How's it structured, just briefly?
We're basically buying out the remaining minority shareholders, issuing mainly shares, a little bit of cash, but mainly shares. So we're just taking out one major shareholder and a couple of others.
Now, some legal issues were involved in that. They've been successfully resolved?
Yes. I mean, there are no particular issues of any consequence. But cleaning up the minorities in Hampton and moving to 100% will be very important in terms of Metminco being able to optimally manage the progression of the projects, particularly in terms of exploration.
When do you expect completion of the deal?
I think by the end of this year.
Okay, end of calendar year.
End of calendar year. There will be a vote at Metminco AGM towards the end of November.
Okay. Now, off the back of that deal, Metminco made a successful 150 million share placement at about 20 cents, raising $30 million. Mostly institutional investors there?
Correct, Brian. These are really two milestones. Moving to 100% of Hampton was a milestone, and that in turn allowed us to triggered a major equity raising, $30 million, basically from institutions.
Now, that's got to be a vote of confidence in the Metminco board and also the projects you're focusing on.
We hope so. It is a milestone because it means that at last we can accelerate the exploration program in a substantial way. After a couple of years of more focus than we would have wished on cleaning up the corporate structure. But now we can focus on exploration.
Now, obviously, those investors have made a tidy paper profit as well. They're trading around 27 cents at the moment. They came in at 20.
Yes, well, we're making progress. It's heading in the right direction.
Okay, so what are the benefits to Metminco shareholders of finalising the Hampton deal and also raising all this capital?
Well, firstly, cleaning up the ownership will greatly facilitate managing the projects in an optimal way in terms of running the technical team. And secondly, that move allowed us to achieve a major capital raising to accelerate exploration. In particular on the Los Colados project, our flagship
Just about to
project.
mention it, yeah. Now, you mooted that, and that's had a major resource upgrade recently too, hasn't it?
Yes, we announced that upgrade in the middle of the year on the basis of only 20,000 metres of drilling. But now, in the next phase of drilling at Colados, phase 3, we will be drilling at least 50,000 metres by approximately the middle of next calendar year.
You suspect there's a lot more there, though, don't you?
In terms of resources?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you can't say too much.
It's a tantalising project. What we have already done is have a close look at the surface, and that has outlined a very large porphyry system, over 10 kilometres long, very large by world standards. But in addition, as part of the drilling, we are undertaking a significant geophysics program, looking at the magnetic and electrical properties of the rocks below the surface.
Okay.
A 3D look underground to refine the drill targeting, to test all the targets we've now outlined on the surface.
Some of the grades you're getting are off the charts too, aren't they?
Well, the grades are encouraging. Grades vary throughout porphyry systems. We're seeing some very high grades at depth, but seeing high grades coming near surface associated with breccias as well.
Gazing forward, are you prepared to put any kind of date, even a rubbery year date, on when you might start shipping your first ore from there?
No. There are years of drilling and studies before we contemplate that.
So how big is it going to be?
Well, if you look at the size of the total system, which is comparable to other very large systems in South America and other parts of the world, the size of the system we've got is potentially billions or many billions of tonnes. But it's very early days, and when we do explore this very large system, one of the crucial ingredients at the end of the day will be the grade that we find in the whatever large resources emerge.
Access to infrastructure?
Carlton is in an outstanding location, both geologically and in terms of potential development. There are a number of large copper porphyries in Peru, undeveloped, all in the highlands, in remote locations, often having to deal with local people. We have neither of these issues. We're near the coast, we're near infrastructure, we don't have people living nearby, so development is likely to be much easier.
What about Malacas and Vallecillo, is it?
Malacas and Vallecillo.
Aha, now that's Chile. Where are they at now?
Two interesting projects. These were two of the early Hampton projects, both of which we drilled back in 2006, and both properties of which are likely to be mines. Malacas will be a small but very profitable copper leach mine. Vallecillo, we have a significant gold-zinc resource. And at Vallecillo, recent surface exploration, geochem sampling, indicates that there is potential to significantly extend the resources of Vallecillo. So at Vallecillo, we'll be looking to do more exploration before we pause to look at development studies.
Not the only not the only projects in Chile you're kind of looking at. There are other areas.
We have, beyond Malacas and Vallecillo, we have two large early stage exploration projects. Cameron is a very large low sulfidation gold prospect, as yet undrilled, but also very tantalising, especially given the world gold price. And Isidro is a large copper gold manto project.
Okay, you're cashed up, you've got some exceptional resources to further explore and develop. I get the sense, like when your football team's kind of on a roll, that you must be feeling similarly motivated, that everything's come together at the right time for you.
Correct. It's been slightly frustrating for the last year or so while we work to clean up and simplify the corporate structure. I mean, at Carlton, in 2 years, we've only had 2 small drill programs, about 16,000 metres in total. Which is nothing given the size of the system that we're exploring. And so now to finally clean up the structure and raise significant money to launch really an aggressive drill program at Carlton, given all the targets that we've outlined in this very large system, it's a very exciting time.
Good news followed by good news. Metminco Director Bill Etheridge, thanks so much for joining me again.
Thank you, Brian.
This is Brian Carlton for ABN Newswire.